Unless you've been hiding under a rock, you've likely heard about the myth of multitasking, that we don't really do it, we just task switch, and there are real costs to switching tasks as it takes our brains a while to get back in the groove after we've been distracted by something else. One of the biggest threats to our attention and ability to focus is notifications. Now, notifications, when used intentionally and sparingly, can be extremely useful. Even critical in some cases, like the reminder to pick up your kid from school or take your medication. But I think we're likely all to agree that because we live with all the tiny devices, notifications are more hindering our ability to get things done at this point. So what if you could take back control of your attention? Get back in the driver's seat for your focus and productivity. One big step in the right direction is to take back control of your notifications and limit what gets the right to demand your attention. I'm also not living under a rock here, so I know this is a big ask because research has shown that human brain is wired to pay attention to novel stimuli in the environment. Ding! The kind of thing that kept us alive on the savannah. However, notifications by their very nature are novel and therefore capture our attention and can be habit forming because you don't know whether it's something exciting or mundane, and this uncertainty can make checking notifications pleasurable and addictive. Thanks, brain. So if you're getting more notifications that are useful and you want to claw back your attention and ultimately your time, here's some ways to get started. First of all, decide which notifications are critical for you. Just because your doorbell has a motion sensor doesn't mean you need to get notifications when it gets triggered. Make a list. If there are more than 4 items of notifications on this list, you might consider cutting just one more. Next, turn off all notifications except those that are critical. Now, before you freak out, this doesn't have to be forever. Maybe you try it for 3 days or a week. See how it goes. And yes, this is going to take some doing as all of the apps try to turn on all of their notifications when they get installed. Can I notify you? No, you can't. Also, notifications aren't just dings and pop-up messages. That little number sitting on the corner of your email icon, that's also a notification. You don't need that either. After your trial run, give yourself at least a couple days. Check in with yourself on how it went. Were you able to focus more? Were there any notifications you turned off that you actually needed? Were there any notifications you left on that you actually don't need? Well, think about it, then adjust accordingly. We live in a world where our attention has become currency, so it's really up to us on how we spend it. The number of things vying for our attention isn't going to diminish, so we're responsible to build the skills, systems, and habits to protect our attention and following our time and effectiveness. This is a great thing to do for ourselves, but also really important to address for our teams. Each new system we implement will have notifications, so it can be helpful to define how notifications are getting used on the onset of the system, which will help prevent overwhelm and attention fatigue by the team. In the next episode, I'll be discussing the issue of the overflowing inbox and the way that I'm actually I promise you, yes, getting to an empty inbox every day. If you enjoyed this episode, you can head over to leverageYourSpark.com to subscribe, leave us a review, or share with a friend. Everyone deserves to have less stress and more impact.